Hey guys, we are going to be looking at solving equations with absolute value. So remember, absolute value is when we have the symbol that looks similar to this. And all this is saying is what is the distance from the value inside the absolute value to the origin. Remember, we're talking about distance, and distance always needs to be positive. Therefore, there's a possibility that we can have two separate answers. So what do I mean by that? If I have the absolute value of x equals 3, well, on a number line, what are two values that would make that true? Well, let's go ahead and look at a little quick number line. If I have the value of 3, the distance from 3 to the origin is 3, as well as negative 3. The distance from negative 3 to the origin is also 3. Therefore, your two solutions would be x equals negative 3 and 3. Okay? So let's go ahead and look at this, though. So we're going to just stick with simplifying. So on this one, what we're going to do is the absolute value of x is 6. And then I'm just going to have 6 times 6 is 36. Okay. Then I'm going to have the absolute value of 5. Negative 5 is 5. And I'm going to have negative 7. I'm going to have 7 times 5, which is 35. So then I'm just going to have 36 minus 35, which is just 1. Okay, now on this one, what we're going to do is first look at this negative 4, which is inside the absolute value. And the absolute value of negative 4 is just positive 4. So we're going to have 6 times 4. 6 times 4 is 24. And I'm going to minus. Now remember, when we looked at orders of operations, 4 plus 11, absolute value is a grouping symbol. So we have to do everything inside here first. So 4 plus 11 is 15. So we're going to have 15. And the absolute value of 15 is just 15. So we're going to have 24 minus 15. And all I do is that, 24 minus 15, which is 9. All right. Now, as I showed you in the earlier part of the lesson, this is what we're going to do to figure out the absolute value with a variable in it. So the first thing I would do, I wouldn't even distribute that negative 1. I would actually divide both sides by negative 1. This is going to give me the absolute value of y plus 7 is equal to negative 10. I would then subtract... I would then subtract 7 on both sides to get the absolute value of y is equal to negative 17. Now right here I want to take a second to explain something. If you look at the absolute value of a number, we're talking about distance, and distance always needs to be positive. So therefore, looking at this is saying the absolute value of a number is going to equal negative 17. Well, that would be actually a no solution, because you can't take an absolute value of a number and get a negative answer. So your answer here would be no solution. All right, so let's go ahead and look at this one now. It is 2 minus the quantity of 5 plus the absolute value of negative x is equal to negative 15. All right, so let's go ahead and look at this one really quickly. Okay, so the first thing what we want to do here is distribute this negative to the 5 and to the plus absolute value of negative x. This would give me 2 minus 5 minus the absolute value of negative x. I'm going to put the parentheses up. We don't need parentheses now. And that's going to equal negative 15. So I'm going to combine like terms. So 2 minus 3. 2 minus 5 is negative 3. Minus the absolute value of negative x equals negative 15. We are then going to add 3 to both sides. And these are going to cancel. I'm going to be left with negative absolute value of negative x is equal to negative 12. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 1 to get the absolute value. The absolute value of negative x is equal to positive 12. Now all we need is this absolute value by itself, which we do have. So we're going to create two equations. We're going to have negative x is equal to 12 and negative x is equal to negative 12. So now what we're going to do is we're going to solve this equation. Divide both sides by negative 1 to get x is equal to negative 12. And again over here, divide both sides by negative 1 to get x is equal to positive 12. So that's your two solutions there. If you have any more questions, please feel free to email me or your teacher. Hope you guys have a great day.